So I just finished rigging up my 2018 Hobie compass. Now it's time to move on to the 2018 Hobie Pro Angler 14. The first thing I'm going to install on this is the Lowrance Elite-9 with TotalScan and Point-1 system. Follow along. As with the Hobie compass, going with the Lowrance Elite-9 Ti with the TotalScan Transducer and the Point-1 precision position receiver. You will need the NMEA 2000 starter kit as well to tie the Point-1 into the Lowrance unit. The reason why I do this first is, while the kayak has limited gear on it right now, it's easier to flip it over first and install the transducer. I'll be installing the transducer again utilizing the BerleyPro TotalScan transducer mount. So let's flip this thing over. Let's get that installed first. First thing, remove the Hobie Lowrance Ready mounting plate. Quick and easy. One of the questions I get often asked is, how durable is the BerleyPro transducer mount? Well, this one is from my last year's Pro Angler. Put a lot of miles on it, went through a lot of concrete launches, bumps and what have you, and it's still in great shape. So much so that I'm going to put it back onto this kayak for another season. It's already mounted to the base plate, 4 screws. Make sure you get your line through first. Attach it to your base plate. The question comes up of how do you mount it onto the base plate, and it always gets mounted to the raised portion. The other easy way to figure that out is it gets mounted onto the textured side of the base plate. The other side is a lot smoother. So mount it there. I've already threaded it through. We'll get everything lined up and get her attached with the 3 screws, or the 3 bolts. Alright, that's installed. Let's flip her back over and start working on the top side. And next, we got to remove the through-hole wiring plug and fish the transducer wire in through that. In the past, I've replaced this one with the 3-way, which is a lot easier to install. Just the 3 screws. Here we've got to get back in behind the at the nut that holds this in. We'll see how this goes. As in the past, I have to remove the round hatch in order to get my arm all the way in there. So that's the other reason why I generally replace with the 3-way. As usual, it was a struggle, but it's in there. Now I'm going to move on to installing the Point-1 compass. And in the past, I've mounted it up here on the mounting boards, but I think I'm going to go with the same technique that I did with the compass, and I'm going to mount it up front here. I'm going to mount it right over top of the pendant here. I'm going to heat this up from the back side and remove the pendant so that I can save it for later. So you don't have to get it too hot, just warm enough. I wouldn't want to use the heat directly on this. It's pretty soft and will probably melt real quick. So all we need to do is drill a 5/8 hole through the close to the center here in order to route the cable through. The Point-1 has a rubber gasket which will help seal the compass to the kayak. We'll simply square this up, get our arrow pointing straight forward, and secure it with a couple screws that come with the Point-1. Perfect. In my previous videos I showed you the NMEA 2000 starter kit and what comes with it and the building of the backbone. There are three basic components with the NMEA 2000 backbone. What you're going to need, and it comes with the starter kit, is power to the backbone, which is supplied by a power cord. Then you've got your input from your device, which in this case is from the Point-1, and then you've got the output, which goes to your Lowrance unit. So you can just plug them all three in. You need to build the backbone to accept how many components you're going to add. So we'll have our power, input, output, and then you've got two terminating ends. They have to have your terminating ends on each side of the backbone. Other than that, it's pretty simple. So here's our power supply. Here's our input. And then our output. I'm going to strap the backbone to this scupper tube on the inside here to keep it tucked out of the way. So we'll get that. We'll work on the power hookups when we install the yak power system. So I have the Lowrance Elite-9 Ti set up on the H-Rail utilizing the 1.5 inch Ram Ball mount and using Ram mount as well. I like the Ram for flexibility whenever I want to change the angle, what have you, of the unit depending on sun and that. And speaking of sun, I put on the BerleyPro visors on my units. It helps keep the sun off the screen, cut down on glare, which lets me dim the screen down, saving battery life. I'm going to use this location here to run my transducer cable, the NMEA 2000 cable out, and the power cable for the Lowrance unit. All three of those cables will come out through here, and we'll route it back up in this over here. There you have it. Our three cables come back out through to be able to hook up to our Lowrance unit. Again, your NMEA 2000 for your Point-1, your power supply, and your transducer cable. We have our power for our backbone for the Point-1, and we have the power for the Lowrance unit. We're going to tie those two together, and we'll hook that all up in the next video when we do the power management system with yak power. Stay tuned for the next video.